Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamlined Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. Tonight we're talking about why are you using non-refundable retainers? And there are a lot of moral and ethical considerations surround non-refundable retainers. So I would encourage you, if you're a fan of the podcast that I do with Mark Homer of GNGF, it's called Your Law Firm is a Business, Take It to the Next Level. I'd encourage you to tune into that podcast because I will do an episode where we go more into depth about the ethical and moral considerations behind non-refundable retainers. But for tonight, I wanted to dive in and talk about the business decision behind using non-refundable fee retainers. And so for those of you that don't know, these types of retainers are not allowed in all states. So do please check with your state and your local bar associations and governing bodies so that you can know whether or not you're allowed to use these in your state. But basically, the type of non-refundable retainer I'm talking about is where I go ahead and collect a certain sum of money from my client. Let's say it's $5,000 as an example, and I agree to do a certain type of work for them. But I am going to track my time against that money, just like I would a retainer in my trust account. But this is non-refundable, meaning if it doesn't take me if it doesn't take me enough time to get to that $5,000, if I finish it within about $4,000 worth of time, then I'm going to go ahead and still charge the client that full $5,000, and I'll keep that money as a non-refundable retainer. However, if it takes me more than that $5,000 worth of time in order to solve this problem or to represent this client, then once I get past that $5,000, because I am again tracking my time against that retainer, then I'm going to go ahead and issue hourly bills after that retainer in order to collect that money from my client. And so I will tell you that the hardest part logistically about these non-refundable retainers is that most current practice management software is built to allow you to bulk apply funds from trust to your bills, right? But not from operating, which frankly makes sense because the money that's coming in from these non-refundable retainers typically is put straight into operating. And so there really isn't money that's changing accounts. We're just tracking against it so that we know when to start charging an additional fee above and beyond that non-refundable retainer. And so, of course, this makes this very painful to track and a very manual process that takes a lot longer. But I have to tell you what I really see happening out there with the law firms that I've come into contact with that are using these non-refundable retainers. And that is they're using them in order to take all of the risk out of what could be a flat fee agreement with your client. So many of the attorneys that I see out there, many of you are using this non-refundable retainer as a way to put all of the risk of a flat fee onto the client. Because in a true flat fee scenario, both parties are taking risk, right? The attorney risks that it'll take more time than anticipated to solve the problem, and the client's risking that you'll solve it in less time, right? Than whatever the amount or time frame is. But the non-refundable retainer eliminates your risk that it will take longer while keeping the same risk for the client that you'll solve the issue faster. And here's the truth. In a flat fee scenario, you already have the upper hand. You've already done 100 real estate closings or 100 contested divorces or 100 immigration applications. You already have the data to know how long it will take and what contingencies you can account for in your well-drafted flat fee scope of work for your representation agreement, right? So I would highly encourage you and challenge you to stop hiding behind those non-refundable fee retainers. Do the analysis, set your flat fees, and bring some more clarity and certainty to your clients because that's what they really want when they're struggling and looking to hire an attorney. Thanks so much for chatting with me about this. Check out the podcast and have a great night.